Hey guys, it's Joski, and I love me some Cuphead. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and is pretty much perfect in every way. That's probably my favorite video game soundtrack ever. The game is hard as my dick, but still very fun. And of course, the animation is phenomenal. Like seriously, this game is awesome. I spent way too much time in this game. I have S ranked every single boss in the base game. I have a fat 200% save file. And I've done pretty much everything there is to do in this game, but still, it wasn't enough. I need more of the funny Cup Man. And my wish was finally granted. For a little over a week ago, the world was blessed with the Cuphead DLC. Cuphead, the Delicious Last Course. See what they did there? It's like DLC, Delicious Last Course. You get the joke. Now, let me take you back to the ancient year of 2018. Cuphead had been out for a little while at this point, and it was doing pretty well for itself. Everyone loved the game, and I mean, why wouldn't you? It's Cuphead. Or are you gay? I was a young lad at this point. A young lad who loved the funny Cup game. Never actually played it, mind you, but I still liked it. Didn't get to have an intimate relationship with the Cup Man until it came out on Switch, and it's been true love ever since. But anyway, on June 17th, 2018, Studio MDHR dropped a trailer for the DLC to the game called The Delicious Last Course. Young me didn't get it. I was an idiot. This DLC was going to have a new isle, new bosses, even a new playable character, and it's coming out in 2019. Okay, 2020. 21? Okay, at least it's finally here now. 3 years after intended. Yes, it got delayed a little bit, but it was all to make the final product as good as it could possibly be. Single boss phases in the DLC have more frames of animation than entire bosses in the base game. I thought the animation in the original game was good, but it's on a whole nother level in the DLC. The DLC contains easily some of the most well-designed bosses in the entire game. The music is, honestly not as good as the base game, but there are still plenty of bangers to be found here. In short, the DLC is awesome. But was it really worth the wait? I don't know. Watch the video to find out, dumbass. Before we start, I just want to put a big fat spoiler warning here. I'm pretty much going to go over everything in the DLC. So if you want to play the game for yourself and haven't already, I suggest that you do that first. If you like Cuphead, you'll definitely like this, and it's only $8. What are you waiting for? Give Cuphead your money. Now with that said, let's just start the damn video already. God. If you have the DLC installed, you're greeted with a different title screen. Cuphead and Mugman are doing the little dance in the middle as like usual. Now Miss Chalice is there vibing in between them too. And it's so cute. Look at her. She's so cute. There's also new music too, though I honestly prefer the OG title screen music. I mean, it's a pretty iconic song, you know. Though I may just be a bit biased because I have more connection to the OG song. As far as I know, there isn't a way to change it back either, which is kind of sad. You won't get to hear about Cupman and Mughead rolling the dice or whatever. The new song's still good too. But anyway, that's enough jacking off to the title screen. Let's start jacking off to the actual game. So once you start the game, you can access a new isle via this compass guy's boat. I'm not sure if it's unlocked from the start of the game or after you beat it. I had already beat the game, obviously, so either way, I was able to jump right into it. I'm not sure if I trust this compass dude though. Looks a bit shifty. Like, didn't Elder Kendall ever tell you not to get in boats with strangers? Something that I haven't really heard people mention about this boat is that it also acts as a way to fast travel between different islands in the base game. I actually love this because, like, before, if you're on Inkwell Isle 1, you want to go to Inkwell Isle 3, you have to walk all the way through Inkwell Isle 2 to get there. Now with the boat, you can just, like, go straight there. But that's enough dilly-dallying. Let's get to the new stuff. Oh, I think I just orgasmed. Now, Miss Chalice called up the boy. She's like, get your asses over here to show them this cookie that she has. Mugman takes a bite and, fucking dies. Like, holy shit, she just killed him. She doesn't even care, too. Like if the cookie didn't even wear off like it does in the game, then she would've just left Mugman like that. Jeez, didn't know she was like that. Really did my boy Mugman dirty there. Anyway, the cookie was made by Chef Saltbigger, this kind, happy, and totally not evil chef dude, trying to help Miss Chalice become alive again. Like, what a nice guy. The most important ingredient in any bake is heart and soul. Whatever you say, buddy. So we need to collect these ingredients for the Wonder Tard, which all just so happen to be held by a bunch of assholes across the island that we have to go and kill. The ingredients pretty much just replace the soul contracts, acting as like an excuse why I have to go fuck up all these dudes. I don't even need an excuse, Slothbaker. I would've fucked them up anyway. But I'm not here for the complex lore of Cuphead. I'm here to masturbate to Miss Chalice. And maybe beat some bosses too, who knows. This is the third time I've referenced masturbation in this video. I need to stop. So yeah, Miss Chalice, she's a big new playable character. You can play as her by equipping the new cookie charm that you get at the start of the DLC. I kind of expected her to be like a fully fledged playable character like Cuphead and Mugman. I guess it makes sense to limit her to a charm since she's like a bit OP. Her moveset is very different from Cuphead and Mugman. She has like a double jump, with the first jump not being as high as Cuphead's, but the second one making up for it. Instead of the normal jump parry, she parries by dashing. Whether this is better or worse really depends on like the boss that you're fighting, but I'd like it. The final new move she has is a dodge roll, where she has invincibility for a short period if you dash while holding down. Think of it as like the smoke bomb, except not as good. You have to hold it down, which is honestly quite annoying and cumbersome to do quickly. Look, I'd like that though. It balances it, as you just can't spam it whenever you need to dodge something. She also has some new special moves, which are a lot better than Cuphead's. Her special 1 shoots a vertical beam, as opposed to Cuphead, which shoots a horizontal one. Her special 2 gives her an extra hit, which is a lot better than Cuphead's, which just gives you invincibility for like 2 seconds. And her special 3 is like a horde of glass or stuff, I don't even know what it is, flying across the screen horizontally. Definitely better than Cuphead's 3rd special, which, even after 5 years after the game came out, I have no idea how it works. Overall, I really like Chalice. She definitely takes some getting used to, but once you figure her out, she's a fun character. Bosses in the DLC are pretty much made for her, and are made a lot easier by using this Chalice. Though this is one of my complaints about her though, I was really hoping she wasn't just going to be in easy mode. While I do think they do a good job balancing her, the fact that she has 4 HP instead of 3 alone just makes her a bit overpowered, you know? Okay, DLC Island. That's apparently the canon name, according to the release date trailer. Not sure what it stands for in-universe though, like Dick Licking Cock Island. Well, DLC Island is split into like 6 sections, sort of. There's a town, there's these 2 desert sections below it, an island with the graveyard, a snowy island, and an island at the foot of a mountain. Each one of these parts housing a boss fight. Speaking of boss fights, what about them? They're all what we're here to see, and yep, they're here. Not running guns though, they got rid of them. Honestly, it's kind of sad. I actually like the running gun levels, but fair enough, I guess. The bosses were always the best part. Just disappointing to not have, like a normal level every now and then to break them up. The first boss I fought was the Moonshine Mob in Bootlegger Boogie. And I gotta say, what a great introduction. First of all, I love the theme of this fight. You put right smack in the middle of a battle between this bug mafia and the cops. Really fits the 1930s aesthetic of Cuphead really well. But yeah, this boss is just some really good old Cuphead. There's crap flying everywhere across the screen. I have to dodge all the crap and shoot some dudes. The spider guy was actually a scrap boss from the original game and was brought back for this fight, though looking a lot less dapper. The second phase is also based on an unused boss from the original game, had the same gimmick of the beam spinning around and turning red and damaging you. Though this time with a very nice looking ladybug dancing around the center, instead of the weird green dude. Seriously, what even is that thing supposed to be? It's really cool they brought back these ideas in the DLC. I was really hoping they would use some of the scrap bosses. No pachinko machine guy though, it kinda sucks. I like that guy. The final phase with the anteater is pretty awesome too. Like, the anteater is so well animated, it's crazy. The animation in the base game is already great, but in the DLC they managed to make it even better somehow. I wouldn't be surprised if they spent 4 years just animating the anteater. The fights in the DLC are pretty hard too. Like, this first boss took me a good 30 minutes to beat. I thought I was going to decimate these guys since I'm so incredible at the game. I'm kind of a big deal, you know, and I still got my ass whooped by a lot of these bosses. Even just rusty, who knows? Trust me, I'm good at video games. But once you get that knockout, the difficulty is all worth it. Except psych, it's a fake knockouts where you dumbass is going to fight the snail dude. It's honestly caught me off guard on my playthrough. Like, I was on 1 HP, I was so relieved at beating my first boss. Finally, when the freaking snail kills me, I wasn't paying attention. I literally just stared at the death screen for like 10 seconds, processing what just happened. Cuphead lied to me. I was bamboozled. How could I ever trust anyone going forward? Why are the snail's eyes not on his eye stalks? It makes no sense. Honestly, you love this fake knockout screen. Sure, the snail part isn't very good, and sure, it's kind of annoying the first time, but it really makes this fight stand out among all the other Cuphead fights. It's pretty meta, honestly. This is like the first boss I played in the DLC, and throughout all the other ones, I was kind of paranoid about what they're gonna do. Like, were they gonna do the same thing? But we did to me. I have trust issues now. Thanks a lot, Snail Man. The second boss I fought was Esther Winchester in High Noon Hoopla. Hoopla? What even does that word mean? I don't even know what it means. This is a plane fight, the only one in the DLC, actually. I was kind of expecting there to be more plane fights, but, you know, one's good, especially this one. This one's really good. I was so excited to play this boss before the DLC came out, and it did not disappoint. Sheriff Winchester is so cool. She's like a cowgirl, but she's a cow. So she's a cowgirl. Cowgirl. I love her. It's great. This fight is the plane levels at their finest. This is complete and utter. Get it? Utter? Because she's a cow. Where are her udders anyway? She's like a cow, but I don't see any udders on her. Where are her big fat mommy milkers? Yeah, you know, it's honestly for the best. I really don't need to see fan art of that. But as I was saying, she's a complete and utter bullet hell. This fight is hard. There's shit flying everywhere, and it's so easy to get hit by something, especially in the second phase, where she's sucking up all this money Luigi's Mansion style. There's like all these tiny coins that kept hitting me as she starts dropping safes everywhere. They split into smaller projectiles. It's complete chaos. Love it. And the third phase is just weird. She gets turned into a bunch of sausages, and then she's just this weird meat creature running around. It's kind of disturbing, honestly. And when she moves to the top of the screen, she flaps her wiggly wiener arms to fly. But in the last phase, she just becomes a full-on can of prairie dogs with strings of infinite wieners flying at you. This fight gets pretty weird. In fact, a lot of these bosses have some creative attacks and transformations like this. I'm so glad they captured the creativity that was in the original game. And the weirdness, too. Cuphead is a very, very weird game. The animation is top-notch too. Everything that goes on looks so good. I especially love the cactus attack, which it does in the first phase. I'm not quite sure why, it just looks really good. The next boss is the Howling Aces in a dog-on-dog fight. This is a plane fight, except not a plane fight like Sheriff Winchester, rather a plane fight, as in the fight is themed around planes, not in a plane, rather on top of one. It's piloted by this dude who teaches you how to fly and use the planes in the base game, so that's a really nice touch. The plane is the main gimmick of the fight. Whatever side the plane you're standing on, that's the way the plane moves. I thought this would be really annoying and cumbersome to control, but it's actually surprisingly natural. It rarely ever fell off the edge of the plane. I said rarely. So you're fighting these dog dudes, this bulldog, these 4 puppies, and this female dog, bitch, if you will. I know there's going to be fan art of her. There probably is already. I'm not brave enough to check myself though, so I'll leave that to you guys. In the first phase, you're on this plane shooting a bulldog in the plane above you. Pretty straightforward. Also, these puppies throwing tennis balls at you, so dodge those. Again, the plane mechanic is actually pretty unintrusive, so really had no problem dodging everything. I mean, it was so difficult, but it didn't feel unfair, you know? Once you beat him, he just flies to the background like he's gotta be dead, right? He just fell like 5,000 feet in the air. The second phase is the puppies from earlier flying around you with jetpacks. This phase really isn't all too interesting. You just have to dodge the letters they spit at you. Like, what is this, Martha Speaks? Do they eat too much alphabet soup? The final phase is really cool though. You start having to dodge all these laser beams, then the entire screen gets flipped on its side, and the hot female dog lady starts throwing these dog bowls at you. This phase is awesome. The screen flipping all around really gives this fight its own flair, you know? It's pretty tough too. Like, I have a hard enough time playing Cuphead normally. I have to do it sideways, and I'm distracted by the hot dog. Hot dog. Get it, like hot dog. Also, the animation in this part is pretty insane. I know I keep saying that about like literally every boss, but it's true. That's what I'm trying to say here is, I want to fuck that dog. I'm very, very sorry. I'll stop. I'm not a furry. I swear I'm not a furry. Mortimer Freeze in Snow Called Shuffle. I like snow. I like cults. This'll be fun. You're fighting this ice wizard dude this time. Reminds me of Snow Miser from that old Christmas stop motion movie. You can't remember the name of it. There look a lot of them, but he was from one of them. It also looks a bit like Ice King from Adventure Time. Blue skinned ice people, that long pointy nose. That's my type right there. If I'm being honest here, this is probably my least favorite fight in the DLC. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, not by a long shot. Just compared to like the other DLC bosses though, this one just stuck out the least to me. The animation is great, but that's really just par for the course in the DLC. When everyone is well animated, no one will be. It's basic economics, really. In the first phase, he has to shoot Mortimer. As he flies around the top of the screen, he throws out these icicle guys, which are super annoying on expert mode. Like, holy shit, this alone made S-working this guy an absolute nightmare. He also slams the giant whale into the ground every now and then. Like, how? Whales weigh like 100,000 pounds. Canonically, Mortimer Freeze is absolutely jacked. In the second phase, he turns into like this obese Frosty the Snowman and rolls around at the speed of sound like he's Sonic the Hedgehog or something. It can also turn into a fridge, which is pretty cool. I've always wanted to be a fridge. In the final phase, you have to jump between these spinning platforms as a snowflake guy throws all this shit at you. This man's got like electric eyes, magic buckets, and deadly ice cream cones. What more could you really want, honestly? This phase is really good. The platforming isn't really much of an issue, honestly. I really fell off. Again, rarely. But yeah, the Mortimer is my least favorite fight in the DLC. Still a pretty cool boss all around. Get it cool, pretty cool boss all around. I'm waiting for you to laugh. Anyway, onto the boss of the final ingredients. Glomstone the Giant and Gnome Way Out. Glomstone the Giant, like Glomstone the Giant douche. It really isn't all that bad, honestly. Probably the easiest boss in the DLC. The first phase is a bit hectic. There's just a lot of stuff happening all at the same time. There's Glomstone himself, who has like gnomes in his mouth that shoot out some purple goo stuff. Don't even know what that is. You can also pull a bear out of his ass to cut out like half the screen. Like, he's literally digging into his ass to get that bear. I guess his mouth is a cave. You can see in like the intro, his mouth is a cave. Maybe his asshole is also a cave. There's like bears living in it. Maybe that's why they're brown. While it's all happening too, the ground beneath the platforms are covered in gnomes that'll poke you with their pokey hats if you stay there for too long. There's also gnomes that shoot fireballs at you from below, gnomes that have hammers try to bonk you on the platforms. Jesus Christ, there are a lot of gnomes in this fight. The second phase is where I have the most trouble though. He rips off his beard, puts on like a puppet show, puppets of King Dice and the Devil. I really like this Easter egg, like the reference to the original game. The phase is pretty tough though. Puppets will bounce a ball back and forth between one another and to dodge it, while also dodging the gnomes that pop up off the ground. Like, what's with all these freaking gnomes? I hate gnomes! The final phase came out of nowhere for me. He literally just swallows us and have to fight in his insides against this, like, weird stomach ulcer. Like what? This phase caught me totally off guard. I wasn't expecting lore in my Cuphead game. Someone on Reddit also pointed out that when he swallows you, it looks like the Quagmire toilet. Now I can't unsee it. The second and third phases are really what make this boss fight for me. Fighting against hand puppets and then ending up in his stomach, just in the last places I expected this fight to go. So this is like the weird creativity that I love about Cuphead, which I feel like was honestly kind of lacking in the Mortimer fight. Damn, I'm really picking on Mortimer today. He's not a bad boss, I swear. I like him. Now, with Glomstone defeated, we have all the ingredients that we need to bake the Wonder Tart. We're gonna take them back to the Salt Baker and, where is he? Maybe just getting stuff ready in the basement, you know? I spent all this time making these ingredients. This Wonder Tart better be good. Gasp! Salt Baker? Only evil people have shadows like that. Is Salt Baker evil? Yeah, and the biggest plot twist of the century. Salt Baker was actually evil the whole time. I'm sure a lot of people probably saw this coming a mile away, but I was actually caught off guard by this. Like, I knew there were fan theories that Salt Baker was going to be evil before the DLC came out. Never actually thought that would actually be the case. He just looks so nice. So Salt Baker tricked us into getting all these ingredients for him, with the final one being a living soul. He nabbed the soul of Cuphead, or whatever character you're not playing as. I was Miss Chalice, so it was Cuphead. In order to bake the Wonder Tart, to have control over the astral plane. Not really sure why he wants control over the astral plane. Like, what's that gonna do for him? But again, plot really isn't all that important. What's important is we get to have an epic final boss with Salt Baker himself. And oh boy, is it epic. What really sells this fight for me is the animation. I thought the anteater looked good. This is incredible. It's so smooth and honestly kind of disturbing. You're literally just murdering all these living ingredients in the background, using their remains to attack you. He breaks his sugar cube skull, he slices the lemons and chops them up, he flattens the dough, he makes them into freaking animal crackers, and he doesn't actually kill the basket. Just squeezes the berries out of them. Still pretty fucked up though. And his face too, it looks so deranged. This man is literally psychotic. The first phase consists of shit pretty much flying everywhere they have to dodge, all while trying to shoot the boss himself. This is like the hardest boss phase in all of Cuphead, not to mention the absolute hell that it is on expert mode. I'm currently trying to S-rank Saltbaker right now, and trust me, it is sheer pain. Luckily the phases after that aren't as hard. On the second phase, you're on his palm, and you don't attack him directly, but rather you have to shoot all these pepper shakers and launch him into his big-ass face in the background. I love how he looks as he gets hit. His face becomes more and more cracked, and it just goes to show the detail of the animation that went into this one single fight. The third phase is kind of weird. The bakery collapses and we're this weird salt dimension. Saltbaker makes these two salt dudes just bounce around. It's very short. It doesn't really serve any purpose. Not very difficult. It's just kind of there. Then we get the final phase, which is also pretty basic. His heart just flies around between these salt pillars. Have to do some platforming, and we just shoot him. It's pretty easy. Yeah, the last two phases are pretty anticlimactic. The first two phases between the animation and the gameplay make this one of my favorite bosses in the entire game. So after we beat him, we get a nice little cutscene to end the story. Saltbaker's bakery is destroyed, but they all escape unscathed. Never got the Wonder Card though, which was honestly kind of disappointing. Thought once we beat the DLC, we would get Miss Chalice as a fully playable character, but no, she's still just a charm. But they hyped us up implying that we were going to be able to play as her, fully in the intro, so where's my fucking Wonder Card? We get the credits, which in comic form show Saltbaker getting arrested and being sentenced to community service. So he helps out all the bosses that he fought in the game, rebuilds his bakery, and is redeemed. Not so sure if community service excuses the crimes against food he committed, but hey, he's a changed man now. So yeah, that's pretty much the main DLC campaign. There's 6 main bosses, but there's also 2 more. Sort of. Wasn't really sure how getting money was going to work in the DLC since there were no running gun levels, and the answer is the King's Leap. It's a collection of mini-bosses presented as a tournament hosted by the King of Games, this guy right here. It's based on chess, which being a bit of a chess nerd myself is pretty cool. In the fight, all shooting and charms are disabled, so you better be good at parrying, because that's the only way you can attack these guys. I'll do a quick rundown of all the bosses. For the pawns, there are 8 pawns to jump down and run at you. You have to parry all their heads, but be careful, because the headless ones can also run at you and hurt you. Knight is freaking stupid. All you do is just wait for him to expose his main and parry it. But it takes so long for him to expose his main though. If you're too far away, it's just this, oh, come at me bro motion. It's so annoying. Plus it's way too much health. So this fight takes forever. The knight legitimately sucks. I hate this guy so much. For the bishop, his head moves around and spits bells at you. Not really sure what those are. You have to put out all the candles that get lit up, and his head becomes parryable. More candles light up, and his head moves faster as they get further along, so the fight gets harder. Rook is an executioner for some reason, and there's heads tossed at you. You have to parry the heads bouncing back at him, sort of like you're playing volleyball, but with severed heads. Kind of fucked up. The final boss is the Queen. You have to parry the cannons to shoot them, but you also have to make sure that they're pointing at her in order for them to hit. They move on their own, and she also moves too, so you have to time in advance for where she's gonna go. She can also throw $20 million worth of projectiles at you that you have to dodge. She also sends these pillars of lines every now and then, which are really annoying for not Miss Chalice. After beating each piece, you're rewarded with a few coins that you can use at Porkrind's Emporium to buy some new items. Oh god, I missed you. There are 3 new shots, the Crack Shot, Converge, and Twist Up, and 2 new charms, the Parry Ring and Broken Relic. The Broken Relic has to do with secret boss fight, which I should probably talk about now. To access this fight, you have to solve the Graveyard Puzzle, which to do this, you need the Relic equipped. This way, when you tap on a grave, a ghost will appear. You use hints given in the dialogue of the NPCs over by the mountain area to pick the right gravestones, and once you do, you get the secret boss. It's against an angel and a devil, with the main gimmick being that the attacks are deadly or safe depending on which one of them you're looking away from. I don't really know a lot about the fight, considering I pretty much just smoke bombed through everything. It was like Smoke Bomb Simulator 2022 up in there. It's honestly a pretty simple fight with only one phase, but I guess it's a cool secret, you know? The Delicious Last Course. It sure was delicious indeed. Well, I won't do that again, I swear. Yeah, that's really all there is to it. It was a bit shorter than I expected it to be, but hey, I'm not complaining. It had fun bosses, a good new character, and some stellar animation. I believe the Delicious Last Course was definitely 100% worth the wait. I don't know if there's going to be another DLC sometime in the very distant future when I'm like an elderly man living in a retirement home, but they can take all the time they need, as long as they need to make a good final product. Insert outro here. Oh wait, shit, I was supposed to say something. Wait, no!